Hey, what is up, you guys? I'm on the road, but I'm gonna go live anyway because just no better time than now, have to be done. So say hi to my lovely Rita, who is doing the driving today, right? So I'm not multitasking, I'm not going Facebook Live, whilst I'm driving, so don't worry about that. Hey Chico, hi, how you doing? All right, so today I'm gonna talk about how hard is network marketing business compared to other options, right? So there are other options and there is network marketing. So I'm gonna talk about how hard it is and maybe, to compare it a little bit with other businesses too. But before I get into that, a few important announcements. So the most important announcement, I'm running a free webinar tonight where I'm gonna be teaching you strategies on how to build your network marketing business on social media, right? So the link to register for that webinar is actually on my timeline. Hey Nikis, hey Dala, right? So the link for that webinar is on my timeline. Make sure you go there, click on it and register. It's at 9 o'clock tonight, UK time. So if you're on another time zone, just do the calculation, right? It's going to be a live training where I'm going to be teaching you strategies, how to find people on social media, how to approach people on social media, how to follow up with people on social media, how to close people, how to help people to make a decision on social media, basically the whole lot, how you can start building your team in network marketing using social media very easily, very professionally, and I'm sure this training will give you a lot of great results because I'm actually going to be sharing you word for word scripts that you can use to approach people, to talk to people, etc. So you'll find it very, very useful. So register for that webinar, share it with your teams, etc. So they can join in as well. It's going to be insane. I'm super excited about that webinar. So that's 9 o'clock tonight. Hey Karen, thanks for joining in. Okay, second announcement. As you know, the Facebook algorithm is always changing. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss out any of my trainings, any of my updates, what you need to do, if you're already friends with me, then you need to go to friends settings. And again, I put a little post on it today on my timeline, actually, how to do it. So you need to go into friends settings and select close friends. Now, if you're not friends with me and you're following me on Facebook, then again, you need to click on the settings and select see first. So this way, you're actually going to see the trainings. Hey, Stacy, thanks for joining in. You're going to see those updates in my trainings because otherwise, because of the Facebook algorithm, you might actually be missing out on all of those trainings because I'm not going to be visible. Hey, Gunta, thanks for joining in. Okay, so let's get into today's training. It's just my battery is dying, so I want to try and plug in so that we don't have the same thing that we had last time. Where my battery died, and hopefully this is charging. If I disappear, just know my battery died. Okay, so before we talk about how hard network marketing is, let's talk about traditional business. So let's say you didn't decide to go the network marketing way and you decided to start a traditional business, okay? So let's have a look what's involved, what makes traditional business hard or harder, right? So one is product development. If you wanted to start a traditional, I'm not driving, Dallas, so don't worry, Rita is driving. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not gonna crash. Men are not good at multitasking, so I do one thing at a time. Okay, so first of all, product development. If you wanted to start your own business and to have your own product, that means you would have to develop your own product, you would have to do the market research, you'd have to be a scientist or hire scientists to create that product, etc. So that's number one, right? It costs money and take a lot of time, etc. Number two, you would have to take care of warehousing, right? So you'd have to hire a big warehouse space where you could keep your goods and where they could be stored, etc. Because you're not going to store everything in your living room, etc. So that's number two. Number three, in a traditional business, you'd have to take care of shipping, right? So that means either yourself, you would have to be packaging these packages and sending them out to people once they bought it, or again, you'd have to hire other people who would be packaging, your product and sending it out to people who bought it, right? Next thing is payroll. Now, once you start employing people, you would have to actually hire an accountant and do payroll for all the people that you employ. That means you have to calculate how much tax each person is paying, pay that tax for them, make sure you have workplace pensions and things like that, because if you don't have them, again, you can get in trouble with the law, with the government, etc. So you'd have to take care of that too. Next is human resources, right? So as soon as you start hiring people, you would have to have some sort of HR department, right? Which takes care of your employees, their rights and everything, right? So you'd have to have a human resources department as well, right? In a traditional business. Next is customer service. Look, people are going to buy your products, so some of them might have complaints, some of them might have questions and things like that. So either yourself, you'd have to be sitting on a phone, answering those phone calls and doing customer service, or again, you'd have to employ somebody to do the customer service for you, right? So that's another expense and another, maybe premises, etc., right? Next is office costs, right? So if you're going to have a call center, customer service, etc., that means you're going to need an office, right? So you'd have to hire office space, right? So you'd have to be paying rent for an office building and many other things like electricity bills and so on and so on and so on. Next is incentive programs, right? If you're going to employ staff, you're going to have to reward them somehow, right? So whether you're taking them to a restaurant, whether you're buying pizza, whether you're buying them Rolex watches, at some service, whatever, it's going to be coming out of your pocket, all of those incentives and all of those encouragements for people, who work for you, right? And then finally, equipment, right? If you're going to be manufacturing something, you're going to have to buy equipment, right? Which again can cost millions. If you're going to open a restaurant, again, you're going to have to buy tables, chairs, cooking equipment, stoves and all of that, right? So whatever business you would be doing, you'd have to spend again a lot of money on equipment, right? So all of those things are associated with having traditional business, right? Which costs a lot of money and is a lot of headache, right? A lot of pain in the ass, right? Now let's talk how hard network marketing is in comparison to traditional business, right? So one, product development. You don't have to do product development. The company actually takes care of all the product development. They research what's trending, what's going to be in fashion next, etc., and they will develop the products for you, right? So you don't have to worry about that. They do all of that for you. Second thing, warehousing. You don't have to have a warehouse because the company takes care of all the warehousing. So they keep the stock of the product in the warehouse and they will take care of that. They cover the cost of that, right? It doesn't cost you anything. Next is shipping, right? You don't have to be shipping product to every single person in your team. So if you have 10 people in your team, 100 people in your team, 1,000 people in your team, doesn't matter. The company will be shipping the products to all of those people, right? You're not gonna have to be packaging product for every one of your team member and doing it yourself. So the company is gonna take care of all of that. Next is payroll, right? So if you built a team of 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, guess what? You don't have to pay each and every one of your team members and take care of their payroll, etc. The company does all of that for you, right? So you don't have to worry about that either. Human resources. It doesn't exist, right? You can have a team of 1 million people. You don't have to have human resources because each and every one of those team members are self-employed sole traders in your organization, which means you don't employ anybody in network marketing. Everybody works for themselves, right? Next is customer service, right? So let's say somebody bought a product from you and they're not happy with the product, or they have a question about the product, etc. Again, you don't have to do the customer service. They have a telephone number for your company. They can call the company, ask questions, get help from the company, and the company takes care of all of that free of charge for you, right? Next is office cost. Again, you don't have to have an office. When you work in network marketing, you can work from home, right? So you don't have to hire a fancy office. You don't have to pay costs, etc., because you can just use your home as your office, right? Next is incentive programs. Again, you don't have to buy incentives for your team members because the company actually runs the incentive programs, right? They will give free holidays, they will give free products, they will give cash bonuses for your team members, right? For people who are working within your team, free of charge. It doesn't cost you. The company takes care of all of that, right? Next is equipment purchasing. You don't have to purchase any equipment, right? Because the company does all of that. So if they need any equipment, they will take care of that. So what do you have to do in network marketing then? What is your job? How hard is it? The only thing you have to do is ask people, hey, would you take a look at the video? Would you take a look at a video about my business? If they're interested, they join your business. If they're not interested, no problem. You shake their hands and look for the next person, right? Would you take a look at my product? Would you take a look at my business? That's all you have to do in network marketing. And you can build a business that can pay you thousands, that can pay you tens of thousands, even in a monthly income, and at no cost, no overhead. You know, the biggest problem that top network marketers have is taxes. They go to the tax, to their accountant, and their accountant says, well, what are your expenses, right? So you must have like an office because you're making so much money, so you must be spending money on an office, on this, on that, and on the other. And the network marketer goes, no, the company is taking care of all the costs. So the money I'm making is pure profit, right? And that just drives accountants crazy because they go like, oh my God, we can't write anything off because you basically haven't got any expenses. You're just making everything profit. Whereas people who have traditional business, if you have a restaurant and you're making 20% profit, you're like a rock star, right? Because that's like, wow, amazing profit, right? In network marketing, you're making like 95% profit, right? Because the only expense you have is like your mobile bill and maybe occasional travel, and things like that. But the rest is like, there's no cost to you, right? You don't have to employ people, hire office buildings, hire warehouses, ship products, nothing. The company takes care of all of that. So how hard is that, right? So if you think that network marketing is hard, then think, what are your other options? What is better? Do you want to get a McDonald's franchise for £1 million? Do you want to start your own business right from scratch and invest thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, with the risk that it's going to go bankrupt, right? And borrow money from a bank, and bank will actually ask for that money whether your business makes money or not, right? Can you imagine that, right? And then you have network marketing as an option, right? So if not this, then what? Right? Some people go like, oh, I'm not sure if network marketing is a good option for me or not. Listen to yourself, right? Do you have an option in your job where you can reach a position where you can no longer go to work and still get paid every single month? I don't know about a job like that. Even if you get to the CEO, even if you get to the very top of your company as an employee, you're still going to have to be spending 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week at work. But in network marketing, you can build your team where at one point your team is going to be so huge that you're going to be paid no matter if you get out of bed or not. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? Stick a yes into comments if this is making sense. Stick a yes into the comments if you think that network marketing is a better option than a traditional business where you have to invest a lot of money, where you have to invest a lot of risk because if it goes bankrupt, you get in trouble. You have to take care of all the human resources and things like that. Thanks, Dana. She says, I have to admit, you're a good speaker. Oh my gosh, I'm just passionate. I'm not a good speaker. I'm just passionate. Hey Bart. Hey Antonio. Hey Susan. Who else is here? Hey Mustafa. Hey Thomas. Hey Agnes. Hey Mark. Cool. Awesome, guys. Thanks very much for joining. I appreciate all the love, all the hearts, all the comments. Now, just so if you missed the beginning of this live, I did some very important announcements. I'm running a very, very important training tonight at 9 o'clock on how to build your network marketing business using social media. The link is on my timeline, and I'm going to put a link into the comments under this video as well. Register for that, because on that webinar I'm going to teach you exact word-for-word scripts, what to use in order to recruit people using social media, in order to follow up with people, in order to close people, help people to make a decision, etc. So make sure you get on that live, make sure you share it with your team members, make sure you share it with other people, because I'm going to deliver tons of value at that training. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of value from that. And there's a few other announcements that I made at the beginning, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Just go back to the beginning of the video and take a look at those if you missed that. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to get my free training on how to get more sales and find more customers, then just head over to titaniumsuccess.co.uk/sales. That's titaniumsuccess.co.uk/sales, and you'll be able to download a free audio download. And the training for tonight, titaniumsuccess.co.uk/webinar. That's titaniumsuccess.co.uk/webinar, and that's the training on how to build your network marketing business using social media. Thanks very much for your support, guys. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you at the top. Bye for now. Bye.